Today, I will be comparing and contrasting Michelangelo's David and Rodin's Adam. The theme is icons and images. Humanity has viewed the world through the tale of other beings, whether that be God or even folk heroes. Humanity prides itself on creating paintings, sculptures, and mementos of some kind to praise these icons as we do our values. And our values and views on life are projected through certain icons and images. We create these perfect and imperfect icons and images so that we as humanity can strive to either embrace it or avoid it. And on the left, we have Michelangelo's David, and on the right, we have Rodin's Adam. The first artwork is David by Michelangelo. It was sculpted in Florence and was made during the height of Michelangelo's career. He made this beautiful sculpture from a piece of marble, and this statue was built during an interesting time in Florentine history. After many revolutions against oppressive forces, the Florentines believed themselves to be underdogs fighting a bigger threat. And in the Bible, David was a young man during the time when his people were being attacked by another army. There were no warriors who could beat the Goliath, a huge warrior attacking David's town. But David, a small, regular looking man, undresses himself and starts to fight with a sling of rock and defeats Goliath against all odds. David wins a seemingly unbeatable opponent. Humans associate size to threat. Being that the statue is large, it meant something more to the Florentines. The size of the statue represented that through God, the underdog can win. And many critics believe this to be the greatest statue to exist at the time. McClure writes in his paper about David, the fact that the statue was recognized as superior to anything existing, both ancient or modern, and that it seemed to announce a new epoch will turn out to be significant. The statue seemed to have been made at a perfect time and was considered to be revolutionary by many people. David being nude was also a revolutionary idea that many people at the time were not fans of. Betty Ann Brown writes in her book, according to Kenneth Clark, Michelangelo, like the Greeks, was passionately stirred by male beauty. Clark calls David Michelangelo's greatest embodiment of the Apollonian idea. The sculpture truly represented the way humanity viewed themselves, that they were heroes and our nudity should be honored and embraced as a form of beauty. The way David poses, his waist, his legs, his arms, they're not entirely even with each other. And this perfectly depicts humanity's unique, imperfect perfections. And David embraces the human body's beauty. The next artwork is similar to David in the sense that it is a sculpture of a man, but this statue is called Adam. The sculpture was made out of bronze and copper alloy and stands at 6 feet 4 inches. Rodin was inspired by Dante's Inferno to create the sculpture, and Dante's Inferno is about a man's journey through the 9 layers of hell. And Adam represents man's ascension into that hell, which in turn inspired the look of Adam. Rodin was actually inspired by Michelangelo to make Adam. He was in fact so inspired that Adam's right hand is shaped the same way as it is in the Sistine Chapel ceiling painting. The MET quotes Rodin scholar Albert Elson. The figure is framed by the beginning and end of life. Between these, his body shows its tortured existence. Rodin wanted to capture humanity's struggle and shame by their own hand. Rodin wanted to capture the horror and hopelessness of mankind, which is why Adam looks so contorted and sad. While Rodin's Adams, while Rodin's Adam parallels Michelangelo's David, it is completely different in meaning. David represents hope and victory in humanity, while Adam represents the hopelessness and shame of humanity. Yet both are made in a way to embody the imperfect perfections of man, and this oxymoronic view of mankind is what makes these statues so unique in their presentation and how they essentially describe an important outlook on life. Both statues are not locked into a specific pose, they both contort and have their own unique shapes. The Musée Rodin, which is a museum that honors Rodin, states that Rodin's Adam seems to emphasize his earthly bonds, whereas Michelangelo shows man at the moment when God confers the divine spark of life upon him. To someone who doesn't know the meaning behind these sculptures, they look the same. They could even be possibly made by the same person, but the deep layer of meaning hidden within them is what defines human nature. While David looks away with his hips to the side, looking forward towards a better future, he has hope and is ready to fight with his weapon by his side. He shows that humanity can conquer anything, and that in and of itself is beautiful. Adam, on the other hand, looks down in shame of humanity and is sad at how hopeless we really are, how there is no redemption for us and our eternal suffering is imminent. Both are caricatures of humanity's hope and will to fight, while also the hopelessness and destruction caused by our own hand.